The Punisher has been seen on the silver screen 3 times so far, with Dolph Lundgren appearing as Frank Castle in 1989, Thomas Jane in 2004, and then Ray Stevenson of the BBC's fantastic series Rome, the last to exact brutal punishment on America's criminals in Punisher Warzone. With the relative failure and critical drubbing of the last and relatively tame Punisher outing, director Lexi Alexander took an approach more directly inspired by the comic, with incredibly over-the-top violence and a neon-infused color palette that does look like it could have been ripped from Marvel's pages. The film begins with a showcase action scene that in a few minutes passes the entire body count of the Thomas Jane movie. Frank crashes a dinner party and proceeds to murder everyone inside. It starts off well with the geography around the table established previously, allowing us to follow the early killing without issue. But then Alexander makes the bizarre choice to have Castle do this. It might look cool, but it's so ridiculously out of character for the Punisher, and honestly just looks like a really ineffective way of shooting people. He does kick a chair into someone's face, which is fun, but the film doesn't show us at all where these guys are until they get shot by Frank. After he has done the spinny chandelier thing, it seems most of the room has been cleared, but bad guys keep being cut to that we weren't aware were there before. And as they are shot as soon as we see them, we never get a chance to feel like Frank is in any danger. If this guy just came in the room, for example, why is the door shut behind him? And was he shooting at Frank before, or just sat cowering? We don't know, as this is the first time we've seen him. It's such a small flaw, but with so many happening throughout, it becomes the film's main issue from an action standpoint. I know this is the opening sequence and is there to establish just how awesome Frank is, but it happens in the final gunfight sequence too. The antagonist is played by The Wire's Dominic West, and his insane sidekick is that 50-year-old guy who married that 16-year-old. Towards the end of the film, they bring together a bunch of rival gangs to kill the Punisher, who then obviously get into a gang war that Frank busts in on. The film establishes well why this building would be full of thugs, but then once the Punisher is in the building, it feels somewhat empty. You only ever really see the bad guys when they are hit by bullets, save for some here and there. This whole action sequence is like this, and it once again removes all tension. So you end up just following this invincible machine as he dispatches people with no effort at all. For example, these 2 guys appear down some stairs, but as we move across, there are 3 more guys. This would be fine if they put up a fight, but they don't seem to do anything whilst Frank is shooting their friends, and are killed as soon as we see them, so again, no tension, which is key to any successful action sequence. In the Terminator's police station scene, we have Linda Hamilton's cutscene so we get a sense of danger and tension as we see her react. And the cops appearing only to get shot immediately fits the narrative of the sequence. The confusion and chaos is important here, but in Punisher Warzone, it just makes it hard for us to follow. A better sequence is this, where Frank crashes in on a home invasion by Jigsaw and his pals, simply because we know where people are in the space. It is marred by this awful CG-assisted execution though. The practical stuff in this film is at times pretty fake looking, but CG like this stands out even more. Really, the most effective action scenes are the 2 hand-to-hand fights against the main antagonists, as they are almost entirely practical, and the geography of the space they happen in is established well, making them easy to follow. I wish more of the film had been like this. For a Punisher fan, this is maybe worth seeing simply by virtue of being the most faithful adaptation of the character yet, but as an action film it leaves a lot to be desired. The film never raises above the level of Frank shooting a few bad guys with minimal effort, and his stoic seriousness is completely at odds with the wacky antagonist. Hopefully one day we will get an action film deserving of the Punisher character, but this one definitely isn't it.
Oh, for fuck's sake!